Yeah, there we go.
We are live.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. We're live. Hello, everyone out there. Yeah, we see you guys. We see you guys.
Put that down.
It's the last week of for Christmas. Yeah, we're gonna
Stop doing that, Michael. You'll go blind.
yeah, we
See
got
you from here.
we have I think I was looking at I was looking at a graphic today showing how many people were streaming, and it was showing so many people were streaming that the internet is should be actually costing less now because they're making so much money, but it's not. It's not costing any less. It's actually getting more and more expensive.
Who come up with that idea?
Yeah, well, the idea is that if you spend more money, more people are using it, you can reduce the price.
Sooner or later, that stuff will pay for itself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's supposed to, but that's not happening. We're getting handed a nice bill. I know my bill is ridiculously high. I can't understand it. I'm gonna have to start selling crack. I am. I don't know what has I'm trying to figure out what has the better return ratio, heroin or meth at this point. It just seems like meth has better addicts.
Well, we're in the Midwest, so it's more of a meth market than a heroin market.
Got to do something to keep warm.
You got a good point. Yeah. Let me hit the intro. We'll come back. We got John Harvey in the room. Don't eat the Cheetos back there, John. We'll bring you in right after the intro.
They're about 2 months stale.
Yeah. And let me run the intro, and we will go right now. Here we go. Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant. I am the founder of iNDIE VOLT Media LLC. Started making comics way back in 2008. I am a comic book artist, a father, a husband, a geek, comic book writer, publisher, reluctant taxpayer, except when it comes to getting those stimulus checks. Then I pay my taxes, damn it. Where is that check? You send me some money, I'll pay it. Thank you guys for being here. Joined by the indie princess, Lola, gracing us with her presence. Still recovering from surgery, but
hi guys. Yeah, I can talk a little bit better now.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And also, Mr. Randy Zimmerman. How are you, Randy?
I am alive. Thank you, Mr. Varian. Hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. I am an alternative and independent comic producer, editor, creator, done everything in the direct market that you can imagine, and then some. I am an award-winning commercial graphic artist whose main goal now is sequential art for advertising and education. And I also have the Zim Geek channel here on YouTube, ZIMMGEEK. Go over there and check it out if you can. Appreciate you liking and subscribing. Also, while you're over on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe the iNDIE VOLT channel as well. Hit that bell for notifications.
Oh, they're definitely going to want to subscribe tonight because tonight is the start of the iNDIE VOLT and iNDIE VOLT. And the only way you can win, and the only way that you can win what we got to give is by making sure that you're subscribed on YouTube, because that's the only way we'll accept your answer to win tonight's prize, which you won't know what it is until I run the bumper and tell you what it is.
Until it's too late and it's already heading towards your house.
Yeah.
All
right. So here we are. Mr. Dreaded Dinosaur is joining us. Eric Hodson. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here. My name is Eric Hodson at Dreaded Dinosaur, and I'm the creator of Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger, also Dinosaur Man on Webtoon, and I host a new show here called It Came From Webtoon with our friend Michael Odom, where we talk about the latest comics that are on the Webtoon platform, help you search through the thousands that are on there, pick out some good ones and recommend them for you.
Yeah, the first episode of that was on Monday. Very insightful. Getting a lot of comments on it too. Got some emails and
Sweet.
yeah, it's really cool to see that type of show and people on Webtoon getting some love. We'll talk a little more about that too. Let's introduce one of our first guests tonight. John, hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How are you tonight?
Doing well, doing well. A little bit in the Christmas spirit, a little bit.
Yeah. We got. I'm not wearing my usual hat tonight. I'm wearing this. Lola's got a hat on. I just want my gifts. That's all. He and I couldn't get my gifts earlier. John, we are on Indie Vote Radio Live right now. Want to thank right now 26,000 people listening on Indie Vote Radio. Thank you guys.
Just to start. Hey, everybody out there, tell your friends we're on Indie Vote Radio. Let's talk comics.
Now, John, so let those people know where they can find you at, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You can find me at Beyond Time Inc., Beyond Time INC. You can find me there on Twitter and on YouTube. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me at Beyond Time Comics. And my name is John Hervey. I am a comic book creator. I am the owner and operator of Beyond Time Comics. And we've published about 15 books. I've been in the industry for a number of years. I was first published with Motown Animation. Motown in the mid-90s, they had a comic book group that was actually in Los Angeles in the mid-Wilshire district. So Michael Davis, who's one of the Milestone founders, he's the one that struck the deal with Motown. And he brought his studio, his guys, they were called Bad Boy Studios. He brought them from New York. But a buddy of mine who was an editor out here in LA, he got me on board, and he basically got me on board as a gopher. But I was happy to be on board. So I was just, doing what gophers do, but I was always pitching Mike on projects all the time. He's like, look, man, he's like, I've got people to write projects. What I need you to do is get me some coffee. But that didn't stop me. So I continued to pitch. And then one day this is back in the day. So the comic book industry was much different. You put your solicitations in Diamond. His solicitation was already in Diamond, and his writer ghosted. So he basically said, hey, John, I know you've been wanting to write for a while. This was on a Thursday. He's like, no pressure, but you're going to come back on Tuesday with the first issue of this one book called Trouble Man written, and you're going to have the story arc fleshed out for me. No pressure, but if this sucks, you won't have to worry about working in this industry ever again. So
wow,
but no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
But I told him years later, the thing he didn't realize was I already loved the property. It wasn't mine. It was another one of the artists from his studio had created it, a guy named Chuck Drost. So, and these kids were all from New York. So they all, none of them could drive. So they all had apartments in LA. LA isn't really structured that way. So they all had apartments near where we worked. So I'd go over to Chuck's place after work, and we would kind of riff off of his idea. So I already had all kinds of stuff written up for Trouble Man. I didn't tell my boss that till years later.
I remember I was talking to someone. They told me that that's how they got their job as a DJ. They wanted to be a DJ, and they could not get a job at the radio station. But what they could get a job doing was being the overnight janitor.
There you go.
And they started noticing that the overnight DJ was a bit of a drinker. And by like the time he was off work, he was like slosh. So they had to call a taxi for him and send him home. Well, this one particular night, it was getting close to the holidays, and he was getting festive. And he was in there drinking, and he says he's just walking back in front of, watching the guy through the big window. That's looking at him like, drink, Jake, drink, brother, drink. Just pacing back and forth watching. And sure as hell, the guy just kind of just nodded off and was just too drunk to do his job. So he slid in front of the microphone and said, hello, everybody. This is so-and-so from WJ, just and took over. And
there you go.
He got the job. That's really cool that, I think I would do that. Wait for someone else to drop the ball. So, John, I don't know if you've seen the show before, but bless you if you haven't. But So what we usually do is we got some questions that were sent in, and we will address those questions. We'll talk a little bit about industry talk, and then we'll get around to your project. And I'm gonna put a question up though. We got 2 questions tonight. I kept it short because I wanted to be able to have a little fun tonight too, guys. So give me 1 second, and let's see.
So with these questions, can I throw my 2 cents in, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you're here. Yeah.
Okay,
You'll
cool.
be able to. Yeah. If I don't like what you say, I'll mute you though. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Or you can just flat out boot me. I mean, you've got the power over there. You're just like, oh, John left. Good night.
What did he say? So yeah, I'll bring up one of the lighter questions first. All right, because we did get a longer form one. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, here we go.
It's a long form one.
No, this one was. I think this is pretty topical. Let's bring this up here. Randy, go ahead and read it.
Grift of the week submission. Who started this BS where creators are advertising or teasing their next project or upcoming funding ask in the updates for current or past projects? Did I miss something?
No, I get what they're saying.
Who started this BS where creators are advertising or teasing their next project or upcoming funding? Ask in the updates or current or past projects. I want to see updates about the project I bought into, not the new one. It's tactless, and in my opinion, shows a serious lack of glass.
I think he meant
Actually,
class.
I'm sure he meant class.
Yeah.
Keith Eubanks,
Keith,
Bob's younger son.
I have I know what you're talking about. I've seen that a couple times lately. People are, it's like, hey, I got a built-in mailing list. People who already bought my project. I'm gonna tease my new project in the updates of the current one. I get their idea. You have a open door right into their inbox through that old campaign. The thing is, if the project hasn't been filled yet, I can see where that would be. I can see where I can understand your frustration. I mean, like I'm into 2 projects right now. That the creator is shooting me updates about his new project that he just launched in those 2, and I'm like, don't do that, because I keep thinking it's update about the project that I backed, and it's not. He's like, hey, and that I get it. I can agree with you there. I don't think it's tactless, but I think it needs to be resolved, and maybe reaching out to some of these crowdfunding platforms, if it's that much of a problem, you tell the crowdfunding platforms, they might smack them on the hands and tell them, hey, stop doing that.
Randy, I've been getting crowdfunding. I've been getting updates from crowdfunding campaigns that I've had fulfilled for like a year.
Right.
Suddenly there's another update that pops up because they want to promote their next book.
Yeah, and Danny said something here, which is I agree with this too. Danny says, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if it's the next issue or a similar project I think you might like. If it's the next issue, go ahead. If it's the next issue. But when you're pitching me someone else's book, which I've seen that happen too.
Yeah.
Like, me pitching Eric's book. Check out Eric's book. Like, I want to help Eric as much as I can. I want to help Danny as much as I can. But if I got to pitch, because my customers might get mad and say, oh, you're bothering me now. You told me it was update for your book or the book I've, imagine it's a book they've had for 2 years and I go through the updates. They might think it's a recall on their book. I wonder if has there ever been a recall on an indie book? That'd be interesting. Anyway, Eric, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement here. I think, especially if you haven't fulfilled your project yet, don't start talking about your next one. And if you come to a milestone where you're like, okay, it's out to ship, we're waiting on the printer. Here's what we have next coming up in the pike. Keep it in terms like that. But don't hold out your hand asking for more money when the customer hasn't even gotten their first book yet. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Danny, if you ever want to come in, shoot me a message. I'll shoot you a link. If you ever want to come in here, let me know. Open invite for you. Danny's He is the creator of Ace Blade, the comic. I have all of Ace Blade, and Ace Blade is the protector of Las Vegas, which tells you all you know about that character. I like Ace Blade. I'm gonna draw on Ace Blade, but he wants me back to 100% before I start drawing Ace Blade because he knows good and well what I'll do. I'll make him look wimpy and everything. No, I'll draw a good Ace Blade.
Well, as long as he's planning on having you draw issue 328. I mean,
no, he's want me to draw like a pinup. A pinup, I can do that. That's quick. John, I see you're bouncing. You want to get in here and say something. You want to cause some controversy. Go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, you got to give Ace Blade his muscles. Okay, so if you're gonna draw Ace Blade, do it right. So that's first. We gotta give Danny his props. So in an attempt for you not to bounce me on the very first question that was asked, and for you to like kick me out and never invite me back. So I do agree that if people have not fulfilled, they really need to be about the business of fulfilling the project that they have. I would say as a little bit of devil's advocate, it's challenging getting people following projects. So I don't mind so much when people do it in a tactful way. Like if it's a creator that I'm already following and they tell me about something new that they're doing, I'm cool with that. And I feel like I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I've made some of these faux pas. Like recently on a project that I have, there's a couple projects that had kind of similar themes. Mm-hmm. So I let people know about those projects because those projects were similarly themed, and those are projects that I back too. So like I would never just push things. I'm not just shilling stuff. I mean, these aren't my projects. I won't get paid for them, but I back them myself because I think they're cool projects. And I want other people to succeed as well. I mean, I totally see what Keith is saying. So I probably need to take that into consideration as well. Not just as a creator, but also as somebody who backs a lot of books.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it both ways because imagine you get an update for a book you're excited about. It says update. You're like, finally, it's going to ship. You click on it and he's like, no, it's, this other book I'm putting out that has nothing to do with that book. Please go over there and, buy into this one. And it's kind of like, come on, when is the book that I paid you for going to ship? When? I want it. But at the same
I agree with that. If you're not delivering on the book that you're supposed to be delivering on, you don't have any business talking about anything else.
Right.
But at the same time, I also, as a businessman, hey, you know what? I've got an open door right into your heart. and I'm gonna utilize that because I know you're gonna open the email. I know it's gonna get eyes on. I'm not sending this email to you to not be read. I want you to see it. So I'm of two minds of it. And Keith, I think the best answer I can give you is I don't have an answer for you. If it's tactless, I'm sorry. You might have to learn to deal with it though, because I know I've got 3 campaigns that it's happening to me on constantly. And I kind of expect it from those 3 people now. Well, two is the same person. Another one, the third one is a different person. And I expect it now. And I think it's going to do nothing but spread as it continues to work. When it stops working, they'll stop doing it.
That's the key. Yeah. Remember, Keith, we're still in a learning to walk stage here on crowdfunding. So you're going to have people try all sorts of different marketing techniques in order to try to get your attention and get into your wallet. Mm-hmm. So if it offends you, make sure you tell them that you don't want to hear from them. And
I agree 100%.
And let them know.
Yeah, I agree 100% because and I appreciate that too as somebody that has campaigns. The beauty of this is you have direct connectivity to the person with the campaign. And those of us that have projects, we are directly responsible to people that are backing the campaigns. So I think that's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Now, would you pronounce that first name Nanote?
I believe so. Nanote Navarrete.
Nanote. Navarrete. Mazzotti.
Says hello from
Lima, Peru.
Yeah. Hello.
We love our worldwide audience. We appreciate each and every one of you listening. Tell your friends.
I think bottom line with this question if you're a creator running a crowdfund, be mindful of how you're running your crowdfund. If you're coming at this from a strictly greed angle, people are going to sense that. They're going to know you're just trying to grab some more money from them, and that's the way the whole idea of, hey, here's book 2, fund that, and I haven't delivered book 1 yet. I mean, that's definitely the greed angle.
Yep.
But if you're, you have other projects or you have friends, other projects, don't come at it from a heavy-handed sales point of view, because that's going to turn people off. Come at it from how John is suggesting down there. This is stuff that I've backed. You might be interested in too, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And yeah. Again, like I said, they'll stop doing it when it stops working.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's working. So
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, right now they're trying anything. They're throwing everything at the wall in the hopes that, because the crowdfunding market is expanding so much, so fast, so quick. You want to make sure the word gets out there. So you're going to have a couple of overzealous, and we've had them even here on the show, where you've had some overzealous folks who have their own book that everything that comes out of their mouth is a tie back to what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It gets irritating, but their enthusiasm is what's really coming through on that. They just some folks get so excited about their project, that's all they want to talk about.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head too, Randy, because at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. For the most part, we're looking at what other people have done.
Yeah.
And, I go on different shows, people give me advice. They're like, hey, it would have been better if you did this with your campaigns. So I'll go and change it.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's still figuring things out, feeling things out. And I think it's good, to give people feedback.
Yep.
I'm hoping if I'm doing something that totally sucks, somebody will be like, hey, John, you know what, bro, you need to pump your brakes on that. You need to kind of stop that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I love your book, but I don't love getting spam in my email every other day or every 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing? I want to ask you guys about this, because there's someone that's pretty famous, and I was listening to him on a show, and he was saying every morning he sends an update. So he sends in morning. And I looked, because I have back a couple of his campaigns. I have like over 100 updates from him, on a book. And it's like, what are your thoughts? I'm sorry, I'm not even in a place to be doing this. I'm asking you guys questions.
You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, no, you're more than fine.
Okay.
Keep going.
What do you guys think about that? Somebody, and he has multiple campaigns. And I've backed a couple campaigns. So I get 2 updates from him a day, like clockwork. And maybe I'll get more. Depending if you have some. What are your thoughts about that?
Update every day is a bit too much. I think, again, at that point, you start wondering, well, I'll start ignoring it because I expect it. No news. There's no news there.
One of the things, though, that makes this type of industry successful is the audience feels a connection, and keeping people in the loop on some sort of regular basis. Again, I wouldn't do it once a day, but on a regular enough basis to where the audience feels like you care about the product you're giving them, the service that you're giving them, keeping them in loop, keeping them informed, that pays dividends. Yeah. And so, whatever that is for you, if that needs to be a daily thing, because that fits your ego, okay, go for it. But, don't be the opposite of that, where you're just like, hey, thanks for the money. 8 months later, oh, I'm not publishing that book yet. It's still being worked on. 6 months later, well, we're going to move it to next year.
Yeah. Stop that. Yeah.
Go away. We don't need you.
There's a line there, though. You can't constantly be hitting people over the head every day, especially if you're invading their email box or whatever. If you really want to keep people updated every day or leave a message every day, make a video and put it up on Facebook or YouTube. That way people can click on it voluntarily and hear from you or catch up with you or whatever you need to do. Or if they find you entertaining, or, I've got a few people in my Facebook feed that do daily videos that I watch every once in a while whenever I want to be amused. I just jump in and see what they're doing. But everyday assault into somebody's email box just puts you in the spam column. That's after a while, like what John was saying, you're just going to get tired of them and you're just going to shove them. You'll label them as spam or unsubscribe or whatever and be done with them, because you don't want to hear from them every day.
Yeah. Jason Moore is in the house and he says, "Good evening, folks." And he also says, updates once or twice a week is plenty, I think, every day. That's spam.
Yeah.
Beyond Time says, "Hey, Pops," and "Hey, everybody. Hello." Danny agrees with me first time with that. No, I'm just kidding. And David Joseph Osterhout says he's "Hey, bud, I'm here."
Yeah, he's a longtime friend of mine.
He says, "I draw, as you know." So how's it going, David?
Dave.
Next question, Randy. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna give this to you to read. I'm gonna bring it up on the screen right now.
Wandering through up there as well. So, Pops, hey, Pops, we just want to say hello.
Here we go.
All right.
This is one that was multi. It's 3 parts. So
3 parts.
Yeah,
is it 3 different cards?
No, yeah, 3 different cards. Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't gonna put it on card, but
yeah, it's that important. Regards, Indie Volt. We want to say thank you for offering an international audience a place to not only talk about works and creations, but to hear it as well. Myself and 3 others listen to the show through the web radio because it is open and free in our region. We are currently imprisoned by Kurdish officials. Wow. For our making illustration art, such as parody, political offerings, or remembrance posters, and it is good for the heart and hopes.
Let me go to the next one. Sorry.
Wow, Kurdish prison. These guys are serving time for drawing editorial cartoons.
My prayers go out to you guys.
Just think about that next time you want to talk about freedoms. You know, to be in such a society and neighborhood where artists can fellowship and speak so freely and open about their creations, mental provocation for creation, and hopes and political ideals for such works. We have reached out to a friend in Turkey who spoke to me about your show. That's so awesome. You don't know how great that is to know that we've got this kind of world reach. Just incredible. You for such works. I have reached out to a friend in Turkey who spoke to me about your show and is writing this letter as I dictated. He is a woodworker and will be sending you 4 wooden sculptures for us or from us. Please consider these sculptures awards to the address he finds on your site.
And there's one more part.
That is cool.
Wow.
One more part here. And
that is amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
I hope those are easily mailable sculptures. Or else Varian's front yard's going to get a little messy. From our hearts for your hard works on behalf of artists here in Kurdistan, one love through art. Thank you. Name withheld by request. Thank you so much, folks in Kurdistan. That is amazing.
I
withheld. I love you guys. Thank you.
I gotta tell you, and I'm glad I'm wearing these glasses because you guys will be able to see. Me getting glassy eyed. When I think about people getting jailed for drawing. That's
wow. I mean, first of all, we've got to be so grateful just that we're in a society where we can do what we're just doing right now.
Yes.
You know, but it also, you know, this is something that's important, you know. I mean, you guys have blessed me to come on this show and just have some fun, but there are people like these gentlemen who are, I mean, they exercise their artistic rights and they've been persecuted. Imprisoned for exercising their artistic rights. You know, it just reminds me that freedom is never free.
Yeah.
And that we have to, you know, make sure that we're guarding, you know, our freedoms as well. That doesn't mean we have to, you know, like what each other is doing in terms of projects, but it does mean that we need to protect people's abilities to make stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those guys to have done that, because I'm sure they grew up knowing the restrictions in their society.
Wow.
And having to draw in order to get their viewpoint out, because sometimes it does sit and have to come out. And to do that, probably knowing that they were going to get imprisoned or once they were found out and have that happen to them, that's bravery, dudes. That's put you all in there.
The reality of their situation has been the norm for human history for millennia. What we are enjoying here in the States and other countries that have similar liberties, that's an anomaly in human history.
Yeah.
And so we absolutely have to fight for that, because, you know, right now we're serving as a voice for these guys, but we want them to be able to exercise their voice too. So the more that we can hold freedom up as the not the exception, but it needs to be the rule, the more that people can enjoy the ability to express themselves without persecution.
Yeah.
I
think when we receive those sculptures, I think I can say that we'll have an unboxing video.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have a ceremony, and we're deeply honored that you feel it important enough to send us a part of your art to thank us for doing what we love to do already. So
it's I again, getting a letter like that is, for me, it's like
and again, it's awesome because that's the reach that we've got. We're all over the place. We just had a guy from Peru say hello. These guys from Kurdistan are dictating a letter to Turkey. I think to you, that's incredible.
I think you need to publish that letter on the Indie Volt website.
You definitely do, yes.
So we can get that pushed out to more outlets. See if we can get some more traction on it, because it's got everything it needs to go viral, and it's a message that needs to go viral. Let's get these guys' voices heard.
Yeah. You know, they withheld their name by request, and the email, the guy who emailed it to me, I did contact him just to make sure everything was legitimate, and it is. But I was, you know, again, I'm humble. And I know we all are, and you know, I look, it's been an emotional week for me. You know, Mandalorian. I've been on the verge of crying anyway. So that
broke down in tears saying goodbye to baby Grogu, didn't you?
No, I didn't. It wasn't that. It was that letter, though. That letter, I was.
That letter is phenomenal.
Yeah, that letter kind of, it hit me. And we got people in the chat. Fight the good fight, says Pops. Grant says, what a cool letter.
Yeah.
Pop says, love that you guys inspire people. I know you inspire me. Thanks, Pops. So
I look forward to seeing those sculptures.
Yeah. Dominic puts up a open O face, and
it's an O face.
Absolutely beautiful and touching letter. All of us here in the U.S. tend to take for granted our artistic freedoms. Amazing letter for sure. Yeah.
Well, we're constantly reminded, or at least we should be, of the Charlie Hebdo case. And the guys that sacrificed themselves for their art, even the Michael Diana case out of Florida. So there's a repressive reach everywhere that we all have to be aware of, and and deal with when it comes to doing our artwork.
You know, and think of it, that's the ultimate goal of cancel culture. You know.
Yes.
Get rid of your audience, get you away from your audience, but eventually they want to shut you up permanently in, you know, prison or worse. That's where it always leads to.
Yeah. Dominic is in the house.
Yeah. Dominic, did you want to comment on that letter? Did you see that at all?
I did.
Yeah.
It all comes now, and the front is always somewhere, and we work from the comfort of our homes. And in the end, I think many of us take it for granted. But the front exists, and the more we take it for granted, the more it comes on in to the core.
Dominic, you're breaking up a little bit, and you're a little low in my ear.
No way.
To turn that volume up just a hair.
Go ahead to the next guy.
Yeah. Did anybody else want to say anything about that? I mean, again, Lola, what did you think about that?
She's hiding her feet from the cam right now.
Yeah.
In respect, yeah.
She said she was sad when I read it to her. So yeah, it's
just honored.
I mean, and let's think about the act of bravery for those guys to even reach out to us in the first place.
Yes.
Essentially sending us these statues, which are probably contraband.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what they're trying to do to get them to us. So
yeah, phenomenal. Just amazing.
How
is our radio numbers looking now?
We are at 42,788.
Love each and every one of you. Tell your friends.
And right now, main country. Yeah, right now, Ireland and Egypt are listening. Thank you guys. Really appreciate that. Again, you know, everybody around the world. I think that we all kind of come together through comics and creation.
Yeah, art.
Yeah. Dominic, you there?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your picture seems to be frozen, though.
He's got
Are you there, Dominic?
He's got rough internet today.
Yeah. StreamYard's not liking him today.
I'm clearly a department.
If you have to sign back out and sign in, we'll be here. The link will still work.
Yeah, we'll be here, Dominic. You might want to do that.
And the other thing about a letter like that, when you go in, there was another letter we got today, and it was from someone else, and then they were stating that they started drawing again while listening to our show. They come.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Yeah, drawing. He asked me not to run it. He asked me not to run the letter, but I was like, I appreciate that. And guys, look, I read the emails. I share them with Randy. I share them with the other people on the show. Let them know that we are getting, we get letters from you guys, and we do read them, even if they don't make the show, and not all letters do. Most do, not all.
And don't worry if your English is bad, because Variant's got a translator. We'll do the best that we can.
Yes, his grammar's bad too, so we probably won't know this.
Horrible. So we love hearing from you. No matter where you're from, the farther away, the better. We love, like I was saying when we first started up, I'd love to know what everybody's reading.
Yeah, out
there, especially comics from other countries. What's the big books going on right now? What's the big hot book where you're at?
Also, from Indie Vote Radio, question came in, and it was this one. Okay, I get it now. This one is from someone named Jason, and Jason says that he, when he buys art supplies, he thinks that they are okay. When I buy art supplies, I think that they are really expensive, but when I go to other countries, I see that they cost a lot more. For instance, in Japan, a lot of art material is sky high compared to what we pay here in the U.S. That's I've heard that before. I've heard some things are different now. I understand the Copic pens, Copic markers that we covet here in America are super cheap where they come from. They don't cost much from them. They're making tons of money on us when it comes to those Copics. But it's you have to shop around. If you ink with nibs, I think the best place to buy the nibs from is Japan, because they still make a lot of that. Like, there's not a lot of American producers of nibs anymore. But
if you need a good brand, a solid art supply that's not going to break your bank, that's a good starter. The Arteza brands that Amazon has as an exclusive are actually not that bad. I've got I got some gouache that I've been starting to work with. It's pretty decent. It's not professional quality, but it's student, like a high grade student quality. And the price there, the markers are okay. It's a great place to get started if you have a tight budget.
Dominic, how's your Wi-Fi?
It's pretty bad, man.
Yeah, we can hear you low, but we can kind of make do with it.
How's this?
You sound.
Anyway, all I said about the front is that the front is always coming closer, and if you don't take care of the fringes, the indies, all that jazz, I mean, making art is dangerous, and we take it for granted. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. It's and it's only been recently where people tend to think, oh, well, that never happened in America. Don't forget, those comic book burnings weren't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago where you would have been held in contempt, or not contempt. Well, you'd have been maybe brought up on charges for what is it? I almost said obesity.
Obscenity.
Yeah.
The Michael Diana case wasn't that long ago. And that's why we have the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund.
Yeah, you can still
to try to help people who can't help themselves when it comes to the legal challenges like that.
Get your ass brought up on charges if you want to.
Yeah, living in Florida and told not to draw comics.
Yeah. Something else that I guess would be.
And then the police can come into your house at any time to make sure you're not drawing comics.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like that to happen?
Something else I guess would be kind of will we remiss not to announce or not to talk about? Do we need to discuss that other thing that happened? Just
Not
wait.
yet.
Okay,
I would wait for more official statement.
Yeah, the world may be upside down. We'll find out.
Then speculation upon speculation. Let's just wish everybody a happy holiday.
Yeah, and
I got a holiday message here, by the way, from somebody.
I hope you're having a nice holiday season. I really do.
There we go.
Also, I want to remind everybody, listen, when you see this, I'm gonna run this ad. I'm gonna run the ad. I'm gonna run this one time. When you see this, the next time you see that, I'm gonna be giving away something. I'm gonna ask a question. If you're on YouTube, you're gonna hop over to YouTube. You need to be subscribed to us on YouTube, and you need to put the answer there. The first person to answer the question correctly will get the item that we're giving away.
Not when you see this.
Now when you see that. No. So you got about, I'm not gonna tell you when, but go over to YouTube and check us out over there. Make sure you subscribe.
Follow the like button. Like the video so YouTube pushes it out more.
Yeah.
Click that thumbs up.
It won't hurt your chances at all.
We long for the day when we have to worry about our content on YouTube. We long for that.
Sure.
When we can be banned, and we can also take on super chats so that maybe we can get that shoe cam a little bigger.
Give
it its own little StreamYard window here.
Why are we?
It's sponsored by IndieCron, as it is.
Why are we encouraging her?
Hey, have you ever thought about just live streaming the shoes on a different channel and just see what happens? Just let it go, like 2 hours worth of
a live shoe cam.
Yeah. She's although I think
I also have
Varian, this was all your idea.
You got put your mic on, Lola. Can't hear you.
Why are we encouraging her?
You have to translate for me.
Oh, what do you say?
I said I also have an Amazon wish list for shoes if people want to buy shoes for me.
Yeah, she has an Amazon wish list for her shoes. But yeah, I think that the only thing that I seen was someone sent in the thing that says she needs to position her feet in more provocative ways. I don't understand how that's possible. I don't think there's a provocative way to. That's not provocative. What?
You see, you need to get a foot person's input to figure that out. I think.
Yeah. Where is Brandon when I need him? Where's Brandon when I need him? He's like,
whoever gave that advice had something in mind. You got to dig. You got to find out what that person was really getting at.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? I thought about doing a shoe cam, but because everyone wants to pick on my $500 name shoes.
Nobody wants to see your shoes, and we have Lola here, so nobody has to look at our faces.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up 1 second here. Let me see.
And again, it just goes to show if you're not watching us on YouTube, you might be missing out. So if you have YouTube capabilities out there, get on YouTube, look under the Indie Volt channel, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. Help us out. Help us out. This bandwidth ain't cheap.
No. So this is Mod Magna, the last Pantheon. I hope not. I can tell you a story about a place called the Pantheon here in Michigan. The last Pantheon, Volume 1. You, sir, this is your book, John Hervey. $6,055 raised so far. 25 days left. You've passed your goal of 500. Now, John, I don't know if Eric told you. Eric should have told you.
Well, okay, I'm feeling like the disclaimer.
We didn't run the disclaimer. We didn't, but I'm terrified of werewolves. And the first thing I see on your page here is a werewolf.
So if this makes you feel a little bit better about this werewolf, so this werewolf isn't your usual run-of-the-mill werewolf. This is actually one of the spawn of Fenrir. So he's a were creature, but he's always like that. That probably doesn't help, that doesn't help, does it?
That doesn't help at all.
That he never turns into a man. He's always that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't.
I was figuring I wasn't helping my cause when I was talking.
No, that
You
doesn't.
can rewind that. You can act like you didn't hear that.
That sounds absolutely.
The point is, we need to full screen the video so Varian can get the full shot of it. Let's play this.
Somehow
and
you made
see
it.
how awesome this book is.
All right, let me play this here. Let me. Here we go.
Welcome to Tree City, Idaho. The year is 1942. Spring is in the air, but times are tense as the world finds itself at war. While high school senior Kari Skogsholm finds her potential life unfulfilling, her parents are eager to keep their lives and, most importantly, their extraordinary daughter under the radar as long as they can. But time is not on their side. They prepare to flee to protect Kari, but something within her compels her to stay and take a stand. It's time to learn truths that have been kept from her, be it out of love or fear or something else. It's time to answer the calling upon her life, whatever that may be. So her journey begins, and things would never be the same. But Kari's story finds its roots millennia prior. The men of renown, known as the sons of God, and the daughters of men in the first and second heavens, joined with raised arms one last time, combining all the power that they had to command. In the heavens, above the world, the last stand of these mighty men was also the last appearance of the agents of destruction, until their reemergence in 1942. Kari must learn the truth about herself, determine the end game of these supernatural agents of destruction, and how to stop them before all is lost.
So when I looked in the chat, I saw Malfunction said, I heard, he said he heard, not your run-of-the-mill werewolf. I think you wanted to hear that.
Yeah, he was pretty wanted to hear. No, it's not your run-of-the-mill werewolf. That's pretty cool. So again, this very scary werewolf is sitting here. He's all big, but the poor girl, she's gonna get. Now, here's the thing. I was looking at her way she's depicted in the comic. She's in the imagery you had. She's not a small girl. She looks. She's ready. She can handle herself.
She's not small, and it's not just grits and bacon. I mean, that helps. The grits and bacon help. Being on the farm, the grits and bacon help. But you learn more about her as the story unfolds, because it's really, it's a hero story for her, but it's also a story of self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the first things that happens, this creature that you love so much attacks her and her family, and she has to use powers that she's pretty much kept repressed her whole life to defend her family.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, she finds out that she's actually adopted, and that takes you on a trip. That takes you on her road of discovery of who she is.
Now, these are all different covers.
Correct.
You son of a. Wait. You know what you deserve? These are all different covers. There you go. Yeah,
that's a little extreme, I think.
That is a little hard. Yeah.
Come on, man.
No, I think that.
Come on, man.
That was the first thing I was anything of the week.
Yeah.
That's the first time in my life I've been anything of the week.
No, I think I think each cover, that's a testament to how good the covers are, because it's like, do I want that one? Do I want that one? I want them all. And you do have that up here. You have an ability to get all three covers.
Right. So it's a 75-page story, and you can pick from any of the three, or if you so feel you can get all three.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was an image at the end of that book, at the end of the video.
Yes.
This image here.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that one of the covers, or?
No, sir. That is not one of the covers. So just the first three are the potential covers for the book. But this is broken into 2 volumes. So each volume is 75 pages. Actually, production on both volumes is already complete.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to make sure is that people aren't taking a flyer on whether they're going to get the book or not.
Mm-hmm.
If they like it, they're going to get it. and that's the reason why the goal was so low, The production is already complete. So of course, you know, if we raise more, then that's an indicator that we'll make more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but if not, then it's like, look, if you do back it, you're going to get your book. It's not a matter of, well, John didn't reach this particular goal, so you know, you're not going to get an update, one of those life happens updates. I've gotten some of those from books that I've backed. It's like, where's that book been? Life, I'm like, life happens. I'm like, life is happening to everybody. Where's my book?
Yep.
Where's my book?
This first cover, I absolutely love it. I love the pose that she's in, the shading, the lighting on it, the highlights off of the werewolf with. I mean, it's just a very dynamic. This is energizing. When I saw this image, that like connected with me because I was just like, okay, wow, this looks really dynamic. She looks strong, tough, and sexy at the same time. It's a great werewolf character too. Because like I'm a werewolf fan, and Varian's one of my best friends, so I don't know how he has lived with me yet. But I always hate the hairy man werewolf, or it just turns into a dog.
Right.
No, I need a 10-foot dog on 2 legs, and this is awesome looking. So
yeah, I need a beast that is just huge and scary.
Lola had a Italian Mastiff at one point, and that's a big dog.
So Lola, how much did that Mastiff weigh? Do you remember?
She died early.
Yeah, she died pretty early, but she'd got up to.
But she was probably about 50 to 60 pounds.
Yeah.
At about 6 months.
I remember the day that I realized that we had brought a monster into our home. I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and I heard this horrible noise out in the backyard. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I jump off the sofa and I run to the glass door or the door wall. And we had a very big backyard. And I looked, and the dog is somehow, she has pulled her lead out, and and she's wrapped herself around the propane grill, and she is pulling that with her around the yard, and I mean messing my grill up. And she's trying to, and I go out there, now she wants to play because she thinks that, oh, he's coming to play with me. And I'm like, this big, huge, and I remember stepping out there and slipping. I don't know what I slipped on, and hit the ground. And she comes over there to lick me, and I'm like, I hate you, but I love you at the same time. And that was the closest to having a werewolf I wanted. She was big. She thought she was strong. I still have damage from that dog. Unfortunately, she ended up getting cancer, and it went through her so quick. There's nothing we could do. We couldn't. By the time
we found out she was dead.
Yeah, by the time we found out, she was already too late for us to do anything, and she had died. But great dog, very protective, but very friendly to everyone. But yeah, it was a werewolf, in my opinion. Yeah, I will get. Werewolves are, and it's funny is that I got a werewolf story. That I'm doing, and Lola is actually helping me write it. In fact, she's doing most of the writing on it, and I'm terrified of werewolves, but this looks great.
So are you scaring yourself while you're working on the project? That's what I want to know.
That's why I let Lola do a lot of the writing, because I'm like, I don't want to have. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to have nightmares, because I'll take it there. I'll take it to that point where it scares me, and now, I can't pee at night.
That's how you know it's good.
That's why they have adult diapers. Just
that too.
I used
diapers, colostomy bags. You're good. You don't have to leave the bed at night.
I would sleep in my office on the sofa a lot. And I would watch, especially when I was sick, and I'd watch YouTube videos. And for me, it was the scarier the better. And I remember this one about these people were getting haunted by these. They said faceless. They're not faceless. They weren't faceless, but they were featureless kind of 8 foot, 9 foot people, like humanoid, like very tall, lanky people, and they would come out the woods, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, and they're just pale skin, and I'm like, they're white. They're white. That's what
So
it is.
it's a family of Slendermen.
Yeah, and I remember I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I remember freaking myself out because I went to go use the bathroom, and right by my bathroom, there's this picture window, this little small not picture window. There's a little small captain's window, I call it, like on a ship, but it's ground level, so I can see. I turn my head to the left while I'm using the bathroom. I could look right over to my neighbor's yard, and I kept thinking, this is gonna be. I'm gonna look out my window, and I'm gonna see one of these creatures looking in the window with me, or I just freaked myself out to the point where I didn't want to get up and use the bathroom anymore. And you think that's scary, but Eric is what, 6'5", and kind of passes. Is that Eric out there or one of those creatures? I don't know.
I just got to put on a funny hat and a fur coat, and I'll just scare the crap out of him.
Yeah. You want to scare me? Put on a cop uniform. That'll scare me. Knock on the door. I'm not answering the door. This book looks great. Now, March 2021.
Yes, sir.
Is your ship date, and you can pick up now. I didn't. You're shipping worldwide, but in case anybody, we tell people this because we got this international audience. If the shipping is a lot for you, he does have a digital option here.
That's correct. $10.
$10 for the digital option. $25 for the graphic novel, the physical book, and then you can get. He's got each cover is the same price, but you can get all three of them. You can get all three of those books with $70 here. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So you can get all three, and then you also, of course, save on shipping versus a la carte as well.
Yeah. I like this cover too. I'm not even a butt man.
Yeah. What about that? I don't know if you guys can tell us more about that.
What was that?
Can you tell us more about that one?
This last cover?
Like, these are gods? These are the sons of God? Is that what's going on?
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. So this is part of, her reveal about herself as well. So she comes into, she basically meets up with the last of the mighty men of old. And these are a conglomeration of the last of the gods, of the deities. So they're a hodgepodge pantheon. So there's some that are Olympian, some from the Aesir, Asgardian, some Egyptian, some from the Chinese pantheon, and they have come together for the sake of survival. And then she finds herself in the midst of their struggle, and ultimately finds herself a linchpin in their struggle. So I like this poster because this picture is kind of like, behold the pantheon. You can kind of see them looking down their nose at her, and you can imagine kind of the facial expression she would have, and they're looking down at her kind of like we're not impressed.
Oh. Poor thing. Solid.
Telling you it's tough. No, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Now, she is a ginger, right? I'm not seeing things.
You're not seeing things.
Awesome.
Yeah. What's up with all the ginger hate?
I have no idea.
When did hating gingers become a thing? That's crazy.
Who can explain that kind of, opinion?
Yeah. Well, she's a ginger, unapologetically.
Yeah. This is another. Who's the artist in the book? Like, who you've got? Is this the same artist for the covers?
So I have. So if you scroll down to the interiors are by Marcio Abreu, and he's just a great dude. And kind of he already had a really heavy workload with the 75 pages. So I have two different artists that work on the covers. The first two covers, the werewolf cover that V loves so much, and the second cover where it's kind of like show of power lifting the tank. Those are both by Elizabeth Torque. And then the last cover, the third cover, it's funny. She was busy and couldn't do the third cover. She's like, yeah, but I got a brother who's an artist. I'm like, okay, here we go. You're You're gonna palm me off on your brother to do the last cover. This is gonna be great, and it actually was. So I was like,
That's cool.
yeah, I totally wasn't being like sarcastic when I said this is gonna be great.
Yeah, this looks really good.
It actually is great.
I'm definitely gonna back it because this is I it's funny too. The story took a big twist. I thought it was gonna go one way and it didn't. So I'm interested in reading this. This looks great.
Oh, appreciate that.
Scroll down on that art, Jerry.
Appreciate that. I'll try to take Keith's stuff into consideration. I'll try not to shill you other people's books in the updates. You know what the funniest thing is? I literally did that in my last. I haven't done very many updates, but I literally did that in my last update because there's two other awesome werewolf books that are out there. Mm-hmm. One's called Sovereign Wolf, and another one's called War Party. And those books are kicking tail. So I was just like, well, if you like the werewolf, you'll probably like these two as well. So when I read that, I was like, yeah, I'm that guy.
A book that Eric worked on, God's Hand. Anthony Figueroa, a friend of the station. He sent me this picture as he was drawing it of these werewolves like descending from the sky. And he sends it to me, and he's like, "Check it out." And I'm like, "You son of,"
that's just like your worst nightmare. I mean, it's not just werewolves, but they're descending from this. It's raining werewolves.
Yeah, it's raining werewolves. Yeah. And I'm like, "Why are you doing this to me?" Yeah, well, don't worry. They're fighting. You should like it. I'm like, no, it's like, no, I don't. Why are you doing this to me? But yeah. So you guys will notice that, like, for me, werewolves in my comics are kind of like Joe Quesada or Brian Michael Bendis, especially Joe Quesada doing anything with Hawkeye. He's gonna die. Guarantee he's gonna die. Like, the character's not gonna last the whole series. That's me. Like, it's a werewolf, it's gonna die. A horrible death. So yeah. Let's take a look at again, you guys can go over there to Indiegogo.com. You're gonna look up Magna, Magna, The Last Pantheon, Volume 1 from John Hervey. And again, fascinating looking book, really well drawn. And I think you guys need to get over there and make this happen now. Let's get John over 7,000. Let's get him over, I mean, he's at 6,055 right now. Let's get him over 7,000. This book is the type of book Randy says it, and I'm gonna steal his line, deserves more eyes on it.
Yes.
So you guys go and check it out.
Appreciate that, guys.
No problem at all.
This is a fun show.
I think Dominic is bailing.
No, he says his Wi-Fi is cutting out.
Yeah,
he's staying while he can. And Dominic's got
werewolves got him.
Yeah.
They must have found it.
Yeah, Dominic's got something special he's going to be showing. He sent me the link so I can bring that up. But that's right. There we go. The Indie Vault is open. I can open up the vault and see what is in it. But you're going to have to answer a question first. You're going to have to tell me, the creative team on this book, and you must tell me on YouTube in the comments. If you do, and I tell you you're the winner, you've got to go to Facebook and go to our Facebook and email Facebook messages your name and address, and I will get it out to you. And the book is Iva. Tell me who is the creative team on Iva, and this book is yours. Issue number 1. You guys got now. Go ahead. First person to tell me on YouTube, and you have to make sure we're gonna check. You have to be subscribed on YouTube and like the video.
And that's somebody we haven't had on recently.
That's right. That's why we can do this. Yeah. So tell us who's the creative team on the book.
All right, you guys can do it.
Come on, chat.
Since you brought up God's Hand, I kind of need to scare Varian a little bit with this.
No, that's horrible. It's horrible. That is horrible. That is the worst image that Anthony's ever drawn. It's
so it was so much fun for me to ink though and share with you. So
once again, one of the worst.
Sharing, V.
Yeah, it's you know what? I told the story before, but I remember watching The Howling And I believe it was The Howling. This guy transformed into a werewolf, and he burst out of the shed, and they did very good animatronics because I can remember the vampire's chest heaving, and he was looking around, and it's daylight, and I'm like, holy crap, this is horrible. And I was very afraid of werewolves for like weeks. I was afraid of werewolves. I thought my dad was a werewolf. And then it calmed me down with my I was prepared. I was prepared to take my father out. The only thing that saved my father's life really was my uncle.
Why did your uncle vouch for him, or
No, my uncle gave me some hard truths. He said, "You see, you've seen the vampire movie, the werewolf movies." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, all those movies you've seen." You gotta understand. My uncle Johnny. I say was, but he is. My Uncle Johnny is Stone Cold and Adolf Caesar together. Adolf Caesar, the black actor. Yeah, and he talks like this. Well, that's how my Uncle Johnny talks. And he always carries. I don't understand how he had a bottle of open Crown Royal in all his cars. Like, aren't you afraid of getting pulled over? But he told me something that, for me, worked. All those movies. Have you ever seen a black man turn into a werewolf? And I said, no. He said, see, your dad can't be a werewolf. And that's the only thing that saved my dad's life, was the fact that I had never seen a black man do it.
Facts.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't until later. Now, had Underworld been out, he'd have been gone. He'd have been gone. I'd have been waiting for him. I remember I had a silver fork underneath my bed, just waiting for him. I know he's coming in here. Again.
My question is, would you have to call him a Blair wolf? A black werewolf?
Yeah. Yeah. You'd have to do
I'll
something.
let it go. I'm about to get kicked out the show right now.
You'd have to, because we got to put, it's like I'm afraid that if we start making black werewolves, everybody's going to, because it'd be like the new electrical powers for black. Everybody gets, if you're black superhero, you get electric powers, which I was really afraid of yesterday.
I actually have a long time ago, I was starting to work on a project that I was thinking about doing as a novel called Urban Moon, about a family of werewolves who've been living in Detroit since Detroit was founded by the French as a fort.
Oh,
yeah.
Getting into like the strip farming and whatnot, because up here on Cashew Street where I live, there's an original farmhouse from when there was the Cashew Farms, which in the Grosse Points, there was all these like long strips of land going out to the river that were all individual farms. So I wanted to get into some of that lore and stuff.
I'm going to tell in the D.
Yeah?
I do. And it's, oh man, I'll tell you guys about it afterwards, because I got to publish it first. It's going to be wild.
John, remember, we're public here, so yeah.
John, where are you at?
So I'm in Houston now. I used to be in Los Angeles, but I'm in Houston now. But I have a lot of family. Well, my family, they used to be in Detroit proper, but I have family now in like Canton and Ypsi, and all around now.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's in the D proper anymore.
Yeah, I grew up in Detroit. Lolo tell you I didn't. Lolo said you grew up in Rosedale Park. That's not technically Detroit, but I'm like, screw you. It is. I grew up in Detroit. I got street cred. Hey, listen. You grew up in Detroit, but you have a glowing chair. I'm just saying.
There we go.
That chair is mesmerizing me, by the way.
And a shoe cam.
Yeah. Shout out to Lola's chair. It's her new chair. That she's an RGB queen. She has to have RGB everything.
And my shoes even. Yeah,
her shoes are RGB. Yeah. So again, you want a copy of Iva? Make sure you're subscribed over Indie Volt. All you gotta do in the YouTube comments, tell us the creative team behind Iva, and I will get that book out to you personally. Here it is, ready to go.
And it's a book worth having too.
It is. Why isn't somebody putting something in there?
Amazing work.
I don't think they realize what I've said. They'll check it out, but you got the first person to tell me gets the book, and we're gonna do Indie Volt whenever. We'll do it. You see that pop up on Indie Volt Livewire. Get your fingers ready. Get ready to type.
I do have a comment on your werewolf.
Oh, Juggle Poo says hello, Randy.
I just want to say hi to I Juggle Poo.
Yeah.
I wish them the best on their poo juggling. Hello, I Juggle Poo. Thanks for listening very much.
juggle with
Well,
that theme.
you had something to say on werewolves, you said?
Yeah.
What's
you're
that?
Talking about black werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
The book I'm writing for you has black werewolves in it.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, the black werewolves are fine. It's just make sure that what's cool is they'll make sure their fur isn't black. Though that can be considered racist. Like they should still have brown and like different color fur. Rebel Gaming says, "Merry Xmas, brothers and sisters. Merry Christmas, Larry."
Christmas Rebel Gaming.
Hey, Larry, what's going on, man?
Mr. Higgins in the chat hanging out. Thank you. So Dominic has something he wants to talk to us about. Dominic, did you put it in the chat or did you email it to me?
No,
Let me see here.
Really need to turn that volume up.
I can't hear him at all.
Yeah, he's having all types of computer problems.
There he is.
Well,
We're gonna.
end with, oh, man.
It's okay. It's okay. We everyone has difficulties. 1 in 5. 1 in 5.
Malfunction says here in of New Zealand, and helping my elderly parents bend guttering and duck fences.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot as F today. Are you guys in winter? I love art. Yes, we're in winter.
Yeah.
We're freezing our effing asses off. So yes, thanks for asking, Malfunction.
And it's a mild winter at that.
Yeah, and it's a mild winter. Yes, for us.
So far.
Yeah. So Dominic, you sent this to me. Explain. This is over on your Gumroad. It's gumroad.com. You got something special here.
Yeah, so if you go to gum.co/11by17/IndieVolt, you guys get special introductory pricing if you guys are interested. So what's been happening with logocomics.com is that I can't afford to really produce 1 million paper products. For the time being, I've created these really standard, very robust black outline or inset or mixed grids, which mix in this grid that you see here. And you can actually see the other ones, but for white on white, so you have the problem of the contrast at the bottom of the image where you can't change to the other image, but whatever. So I have these 3 grids available, the blue, the black, and the mixed, and I also have a standard 7.5 by 11 black blue grid. They're available for $9.99. So the idea is that you would print these on the paper that you're feeling comfortable with. So if you're seeking a grid, I've got you covered. If you want any details, Varian, you could go to simply logocomics.com, and that offer will pop up and give you a bit of details. So for now, I should be able to just click it. Try just clicking that. Varian, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you click it, doesn't share. It doesn't. They do that to make sure that you don't accidentally share porn. But yeah.
I'm with you. And so the concept is simple. I've been trying to get paper products over to the UK recently, and clearly shipping is absurd. So you want to source locally, but if the grid is the issue, I've got you covered at logocomics.com. I'm simply thinking of a Kickstarter because I've invented these products, and you'll be able to test them. So I have these various papers with various grids. I have production books where you draw inside it just like a book. I have a writing book coming out soon. Essentially, what you see inside this black grid here will allow you to draw your comic size as plus bleed. So they're innovations. They're not necessarily for everyone. I think the old workhorses will prefer the 11 by 17. But if you're working on a new graphic novel, working size as might be just the ticket. So for now, the offer is available at half price to IndieVolt listeners. So you can go to gum.co/11 by 17 and enter the code IndieVolt, and the first 50 people will get 50% off. So that would be a
How long is this going for?
So
You're breaking up.
Could be till 2025.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
A lot of people but
We want I will put the link in the video and I'll put it on our Facebook too, so that people can know they can go over there and utilize this deal on our Twitter as well. And we got a winner. Grandpa's Comic Con says Timothy Green II and and that's Iskander. That's right. That's the creative team behind
Yeah.
Iva. He just won himself a copy of Iva. And if you were industrious, all you had to do is go look at the cover. It's right there. It's right there. So yeah, this is coming to you, Mark, over Grandpa's Comic Con. A copy of Iva, brand new on the board, just like Annette sent it to us. Don't know if she signed this copy or not, but it's ready to come to you. Well, we'll get this in the mail very soon, probably right after the holiday. Maybe I'll put it in the mail tomorrow. Maybe I can put it in the mail tomorrow. Yeah. Who knows when it'll actually get to you? But I'm put it in the mail tomorrow. Yeah, guys, have you noticed that Dominic mentioned it, and he's got a great point. Mailing anything to the UK is ridiculous. Lola's sent something out, and it is super expensive, and it's going to cost you $77 to get a 1 pound item out. And so imagine sending books, and I don't know how much it is to send like from the UK to the States right now, but sending over is ridiculous.
Right now, mailing out of the UK is out of the question. So nobody's sending anything out of that country for a while, or flying out of that country at the moment. Yeah. So everybody's scared to death about the virus situation over there. So
yeah. And Randy, another question. This is from Indie Vote Radio, real quick. This one is from another Dominic. Dominics are just Lola's got a brother named Dominic. There's
Dominics are everywhere.
Yeah. This is from another Dominic. He wants to know, hey guys, this was his year to debut his comic that he paid for and produced. It's ready. It's printed. Cool. Year. There's no Comic Cons.
Yes.
He says doesn't look good for next year either.
No.
How do you suggest that I get my comic out? Already having it printed, no need for a crowdfunding campaign. What should I do? Let me tell you something. You can still do a crowdfunding campaign. All you have to do is your book's printed. You're already one step ahead. All you'd be doing at this point is doing stretch goals.
That's right. I agree completely. And think of it as a marketing arm for what you're trying to do. It's a way to reach people.
Yep.
It's a means for people to see you and get to know you. I mean, in this last year, I have crowdfunded so many books, and I'll tell you the other key is you need to get on this show. You need to get on Indie Vote, because this is how you can create a campaign, but then you need to go on Indie Vote so people can see your campaign. And then just set the 500. If you do Indie, whichever platform you want to use, use Indiegogo, set it at 500. That's the minimum.
And
you don't need production dollars.
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there you can get on. The key right now is to get it out there in front of as many people's eyes and ears as you possibly can and sell it. And yeah, definitely look at doing a crowdfunding campaign anyway, because just imagine how good you will look doing a crowdfunding campaign that you fulfill it automatically because the book's already printed.
Yeah.
And let people know. Let people know the book is produced.
Oh yeah, this book, you can show it in your video. This book is done. Look at this.
Yeah.
I got boxes here. Let's buy
exactly.
This.
Yeah. I mean, you're only focused on stretch goals. People like that.
Yeah.
Eric, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
And
No.
There's plenty to do for stretch goals, like trading cards or prints or something like that. And just try to entice people and get those numbers up, and just think you're making instant money because you've already invested into that print run. You have that product already. So it just be a plus for you. And then during that campaign, of course, get out to as many podcasts as you can get your toes into. I said that looking at the shoe cam.
There is an update from all the various shipping companies too, and I just sent that to Varian if you want to bring that up on the screen. It's important to know where they all stand during this stressful time.
And that's on their heads. So
yeah,
they're all standing on their heads, and if you pay them some extra money, they'll make sure that your package gets there by Christmas Eve. So.
Well, you have to threaten them like I did.
As long as they're not like my local Walmart and shut down for a deep cleaning.
There it is. Official statements. UPS says your package is in your city on a truck driven by Mike. It will arrive at your doorstep at 6:27 p.m. today. FedEx says your package is coming. You'll get it when we get there. USPS says what package? Amazon says we are already inside your apartment. Check the bathroom. Facebook says, you were thinking about getting a toaster yesterday. Here are 20 extra toaster ovens.
There you go. Too true.
I had a company, which I guess I don't have to really talk about.
You don't have to mention them by name, but you can talk about them all you want.
Yeah, the chair that Lola's sitting in, I ordered on the December 1st, and it was supposed to be shipped. A shipping label was printed on the 2nd, and then that's it. That was it. And I notified them. I'm like, hey, the shipping, it's supposed to be here on the 8th, guys. That's tomorrow, and it hasn't moved. And they're like, oh, no, don't worry. It's in our warehouse. It's FedEx is so backed up that they haven't scanned it in, but it's coming. It'll be there. And I said, okay, well, the 8th come and went, 9th, 10th. I think I reached back out on the 10th. I'm like, hey, guys, look, I do a lot of shipping, and I know if I print a shipping label, that allows a couple of things. One, it normally allows me to touch the money. And two, that doesn't mean that it's been shipped at all. It still has to, the carrier still has to receive and take over the item. Oh, no, you're mistaken. I'm like, I'm just like, hey, I own a distribution company. I mean, come on, guys. And so I've been shipping my own comics, my publishing company. I know what I'm talking about.
You know a few things because you've shipped a few things.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you know what you're talking about. And the funny thing was, I found their number through, because when I signed up my companies, I signed up to Duns and Bradstreet. Well, they're like, they look at companies' credit rating. So I found them. And I reached out and I called someone's personal phone because the lady was like, oh, no, this is the personal line. I said, well, this is on your Duns and Bradstreet profile. This is a public number. I'm calling to find out where my order is at. Well, anyway, the order, they asked me to give them to the 14th. I actually gave them to the 16th. I called them on this. I said, look, I didn't call, but I wrote. I said, look, the 16th has come. No item. What's going on? They ignored me. I reached back out one more time, a little bit more snarky this time on the 19th. And they said, oh, we're so sorry. Maybe your item is lost in shipping. We'd like to this time offer you a full refund. Now, guys, I got to tell you, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was in a real foul mood. And I said, a full refund. Were you going to give me a partial one? Like they were giving me a favor by offering me a free refund. So I wrote them this long letter. And in the letter, I may have used the phrase. I may have used the letter may have been one of those don't you know who I am letters. Mm-hmm. And I may have dropped the Indie Vote link in that letter with my amount of followers and like, I'm going to talk about you really bad. But something miraculous happened, guys. I did that on Monday, and guess what happened? The chair started moving. The chair went from California to Georgia to Indiana.
Overnight, poof.
It was like OJ was driving in the white Bronco. I never seen such speed in my life. I feel bad. I think I jumped over somebody. And they emailed me. They said, oh, it looks like your package is moving. And by the way, we're going to give you a discount. Now, they're going to give you a discount. They're going to refund some of the money, which is fine. But I'll tell you this.
It's pink.
Yeah, because I ordered a black and gray chair. You should have heard Lola when she opened it. It's pink! But at this point, she was just so happy to have the chair. She didn't care. She just...
Amen.
There was somebody that was a day out from getting their chair, and they're like, that person ain't getting their chair. This is over to V. That person got no followers. They're just gonna have to cry about
it. And when that person does get their chair and open it up, they'll be screaming, "It's black!"
I was gonna make a comment. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I do think that I like the chair though. It's pink and has all these different color combinations. I kind of want a glowy chair now, but I don't know how I can pull it off and maintain my strong masculine I almost said facade, but that would mean that it's fake. So,
So facade was the right word.
yeah. I gotta reacquaint myself with the dictionary, real quick. Yeah, there's all those different settings. It's a nice chair. I just hope that it isn't one of those things that's like in a year it's leaning to the left a little bit, like because I've gone through some computer chairs, guys. I tell you, and this one is probably the nicest one I've ever had. But
one of these days it's gonna break. You know it.
Yeah,
just kidding.
It could. From IndieVolt Radio, got another question here. Okay, yeah. What do you guys find the most annoying when you go on streams as a host and as a guest? I don't do a lot of guesting. I'm not a guest. People don't invite me on their shows. Let's start with Eric. Eric, you've made the rounds a lot. What do you find the most annoying, both as a guest and as a host? So I guess if they're different, then.
As a guest, the most annoying thing is low production values. I mean, I get wanting to do this, but do it right. Don't be 30 feet away from your microphone. Don't have no lights on you, or your light is behind you. Like especially guys who like sit up and their window is open and it's broad daylight outside. It's easy enough to learn these things. So the fact that you're doing this and it looks terrible just means you're not, you're not putting the time into it. You're not putting the effort into it. So that's always a big pet peeve of mine. And then I guess as hosting a show, it's just like when your crap don't work. Like I cannot find an answer for why this camera on my end flickers like it does. And I'm sure everybody's been noticing this. It went away for a while and now it's back.
Yeah.
And another thing that kind of ticks me off about this is ever since I updated my system, got a new computer. Basically, I built a new computer. This Marantz turret, if I leave the computer on, and I leave my computer on all night, it just goes into sleep mode. But if I need to do a new broadcast, I have to constantly reboot it because it loses the camera.
Mark says he resembles that remark.
Eric is all of a sudden disinvited from Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Oh no! Just as soon as I get a big license deal, now I can't go.
I think that Eric had a great point. You got a great point. Those production values behind. We'll get into that. Production values though need to be,
Well, you also have to remember that everything takes time, and there needs to be there. If you go back and you look at our shows 2 years ago, we look ridiculous. I mean, more ridiculous than we do now.
Yeah,
and then it's like we were talking in closets, and I had all sorts of clutter back behind me that looked ridiculous, and that kind of stuff. But you learn, you do some podcasts and take a look and listen to how you sound over the air and the YouTubes, and decide to make those changes. And it does help you so much to go out and to take the expense and get the slightly better equipment, and to know how good a Yeti is and a Logitech and your brands, and do a little research, get an education. Hashtag, we're big on education here. Another thing that really bothers me, since I've got the floor for a second, is people that go on camera that don't respect the audience that is watching them. That drives me nuts. They have, I'm not going to use examples because I don't want to embarrass anybody here, but you don't take your phone and walk around your house and show everybody your ceiling or how rough your house looks. You sit in one place. My basement down here looks like shit. And I have enough sense to put up a sheet, to hide the majority of the clutter. There's books and comic boxes and all sorts of crap back behind.
There's a library back there.
There's a library in this whole basement. That's just another story. But on top of that, look at how you look on camera. There's so many people that don't know, or I hope they don't know how they look on camera, that don't care how they look on camera, where they do this up the nose shot or down the belly shot or whatever, and they do a podcast from their dirty bedroom with their unmade bed, with clutter in the background, with crap, I'm a slob that lives in my, that lives in a small 10 by 10 room or whatever. be aware of how you look on camera and how you come off, because you want to give folks an air, at least some sort of an impression of professionalism. You know, wear a collar every once in a while, wear some sleeves.
You don't have to wear pants, but wear a shirt.
You don't have to wear pants. No. In fact, we got a guy here that does the news.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
What do you say, Lola?
Just be aware how you look on the camera, because I've seen so many people out there that just, you look at them and you go, wow, do you know what you look like on camera?
No, Lola, you say you don't wear pants?
Please.
Holy crap.
Oh.
Lola's not wearing any pants.
I am wearing pants.
Oh, she is wearing pants.
Yeah. She just, you say you could not wear pants if you didn't want to,
but appearance is a lot too. I mean, I wear a hat so that my head doesn't shine, and the light doesn't bounce off into the camera, because it would look like a J. Abrams lens flare half of the time. You know, wear a hat, wear a shirt, know what you look like when you're on there. The other thing that should I even go there? Stop me if I'm going too far. Are the shots that of people, and I can't even get into that position here, where you see their belly and then you see their head real small. That drives me crazy, because it's like, dude, yeah, all you got to do is turn. I got an artist hump. I'll tell you, that a big tire, and I know enough to keep the camera above my belly, because nobody wants to see that. It's bad enough we have faces made for radio as it is, and I lean forward a little bit so that I don't look like some fat slob.
Yeah, take your books, take some of the books that you have laying around, and put your laptop on them if you have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
put the camera up to eye level, so it's
But have an idea how you look.
Yeah,
and like Eric said, we've had a few people on here too that plopped their laptop on their coffee table, sit on their couch in front of this huge back bay window that's nothing but bright sunlight, and all you see is this crazy silhouette.
I used to mess with Odin and tell him that he looks like he's descending from the heavens.
We've had kids come parading through, though that can be a lot of fun at time, and transparency is cool. And you can't keep having people see your family, as long as you don't mind them seeing your family. It doesn't hurt anything. But yelling, if I was here in the basement, like yelling up for somebody to make me a sandwich, that's a little unprofessional. No.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that it can get pretty bad. I would say, as a host, all those things. We have
this is John's first time on, and you can see he's got a great background back behind him, and he's got a nice looking place, and you can see his face. He looks professional. He's out here to tell you about his great book that he's got.
Yeah, and that's I used to groan whenever I would see phones come on, because I started sending out these things, this little piece of paper that just said, a little file that says, hey, do these things before you come on the show. And it's, if you're gonna use a cell phone, get yourself one of these little holders here. They don't cost much. They're about $4 or $5.
More Hot Pockets, exactly.
and you can get one of these little holders and put your phone in it, and that way your phone is it's stable. It's not shaking.
Or you see the constant this,
yeah. Show that tentacle monster that you're going to buy.
Oh, yeah. Let me put that up.
Tentacle monsters, putting it politely. That looks like an alien aberration.
It's like a proctologist tool or something like that. But
it reminds me of the dentist's office. Here comes the drill.
Yeah, you can mount devices on it. So
all sorts of devices. All you need is the proper swing chair, and you're all set. And the proper devices to load up into there.
Let's see here.
He sent me this, and my only comment was, I just need a swivel arm to hold another swivel arm. That's what I need.
Yeah, I'll just bring up the image. Hold on 1 second. And you know what's funny is that I know that one of us is going to end up getting the thing.
Oh yeah, because we have to have that Frankenstein workstation. That's just a man thing,
Yeah, and I would not suggest getting it from this company that's on the ad because they are not, as far as I can't vouch for the legitimacy.
And they're not asking us to sponsor them either, which we are very available for sponsorship.
Well, they got it for unbelievably cheap, and
They should all want us to advertise their work because and all send us all one apiece. But
there's these websites now that put up things that are unbelievably normally like $200, or like $30, and they're a scam. They're a scam. You're gonna give them $30. You're never gonna get the device. And there's a device here. Now they're trying to sell it for like $26.95. That thing is usually between $80 and $150.
That even has a little front lighting there, so that you can get that little halo circle inside of your eyeball.
Yeah,
that aim it right.
The 150 version of that comes with the ring light, and actually comes with a
the top arm there is made for the dentist drill.
From what I'm understanding, what you don't get with it is you don't get that laptop adapter. So you have to buy that separately.
I would also think you don't get a sense of security because that bottom base does not look very stable.
Oh no, I watched it. I looked at a review. This guy loved it. He said it's double clamped, it's metal.
Oh well, yeah. If you got clamps on there, that's different.
The 150 version is this $26.95 thing. If you get it, I guarantee you, it's gonna be plastic. It might even be the size of a Barbie house.
To sit there doing it, and all of a sudden have the camera like,
yeah.
You see, these people are buying their stock from Wish.com and reselling it.
Yeah. So yeah, but this is I may get something like this, and it will be nice for my art desk because I could clamp that. Well, maybe not, but like I'll put a little table next to it, and I can have all my little devices there. Might be kind of nice. Who knows?
I would definitely clamp it to the table somehow.
Yeah, Rebel Gaming says it's the clamp.
It's the clamp.
Yeah. I spent a couple weeks to find the ball from the actual Dashcom ball pit to remind me to respect my base all the time. That ball is in high eyesight every time I work.
Mark, it sounds like there's a good story behind your search for that ball.
I've heard about the ball pit. I've heard about the ball pit.
Everybody wants to go bowling.
Yeah. Dominic, you didn't get a chance to weigh in, but is there anything that you see as a that you learned as being a host, and I'll go to you, John, as well. But as a host and as a guest of a podcast, anything that you find irksome?
To be honest, in terms of podcasts, it's what I've been on, and it's been a few, and it's been great because I felt welcome, so I felt comfortable. Say that's a good thing. I've been on a few conferences between that time. Before COVID, I wasn't really doing much live events at all. I guess the thing that I find kind of a hairline decision, depending on which way you're going to lean, is whether you mute your mic or not. I find when you don't, you get sort of a live camaraderie and you get some of the laughter. But when you do, sometimes you avoid technical issues. So I found that from my very limited experience. And those setups are things that I'm totally interested in now. Because I'd like to do a live drawing show down the road if I can get my act together.
We just want to point out that we're not demeaning Dominic's equipment. He's calling us all the way from the Great White North up in Canada. So his signal is not the best. The camera we're receiving, he's freezing pretty often. But at StreamYard and a lot of the foreign software sometimes don't mesh very well.
Dom has been on before, like last week or 2 weeks ago, where he was perfect.
Absolutely fine.
Today just
it's my bad. I can leave if the Wi-Fi.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're fine. And like I said, we don't mean to demean your equipment. It's just your connection.
I saw one of your own guests. Say how they will go to the length of resetting their router. So I think those things are healthy things to do. Something I should have done before today.
Well, we had somebody, a long time writer, Glenn Fleming, on, and he started off with his phone. Then he figured out how to anchor his phone, and now he's gone out and figured out how to get StreamYard rolling through his laptop and have a separate mic running, and he is just perfectly fine now. And he's all the way over, I believe it's Manchester, England. So
right. Well, it's funny.
We have him on almost all the time on the Sunday Funny Show.
Eric says, Jerry kind of said, I spent a lot of time on the phone calling party rental companies in Chicago to find them. Shamelessly begged the secretary to send me one. Paid her a good amount for it. Prior thought I was nuts. DashCon was the biggest screw job in con history. Absolutely amazing of a train wreck. If you're unfamiliar, yeah, I understand there was a ball pit.
I sent you a picture of it.
Did you?
The infamous photo of the ball pit. So basically, what happened was that this was their kids' entertainment area at the con.
Okay.
And it's all they had was this one single ball pit. But this is a con that was poorly advertised. It was basically a Grift. It could have been a Grift King contender easily. And the infamous picture that Varian's going to pop up here really became viral really quick, especially in our community.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome in its loneliness.
That's terrible.
I remember hearing about it.
Hey kids, we got a ball pit.
Yeah, it's like
it's literally a raft. They inflated it.
Yeah, floating on a sea of concrete.
I was about to say the best part is they jump in and they just slam on the concrete underneath.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Kid down. Yeah,
Hey kids, we got an inflatable pool with some plastic balls in it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Dive headfirst into there.
I think that I remember hearing so much about DashCon and the people who went were like, it was an oddity. Like there was no one that it was poorly advertised, and
it's like the guy diving off the high board into a cup of water.
Scott Wilson says, "Hey guys, hello, Scott.
How could you resist the thought of when if the show gets that dull, just going for a quick jump?
Apparently, there's more to the story.
Yeah,
having all those balls like slosh out, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I have a ball from that. First thing I did was watch it. If you know the story of what happened in it, you will know why. Yeah,
There's a deeper story there.
Oh yeah. There was all types of things going on in that ball pit, from what I understand.
Little kids. Well,
no, some adults too may have been.
It turned into an adult ball pit.
There was.
I did a show in Columbus one time where they had an entire floor that had some interesting experiences with Jello and pudding.
I just
you gotta enlighten
did it become like a foam and balls in there?
Let your mind wander. Yes,
Mark, enlighten us to what you had to. Why'd you have to wash off your ball?
I don't think he needs to get into those kind of details. I think we already know what's going on.
It's always wash your DashCon balls.
Always wash your DashCon balls.
I wanted it back the second I left my mouth. I was like, no, don't. Oh, it's out there. You said that.
But that would be the type of souvenir that you take and you put out in the open to remind yourself of the the great time.
Yeah. John, anything that you would say as being a guest and I don't know, have you hosted any shows yet?
So I co-host a show with Ryan Wynn, and co-hosting. I just enjoy when really energetic about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is escapism. This is fun. If they're not having fun first and foremost, then who wants to come on board that ride?
Yeah. Amen.
We all have what's going on in reality. We come here for the escapism, for the fun, for the camaraderie. So I'm on board when people are excited about what they're doing. As a guest, I've had really good experiences with hosts. I think because at the end of the day, everyone that's doing this, they're doing this because they love it. Mm-hmm. You guys have put so much time and you've put years into this, and you're going to get monetized. That's going to happen. But to stick it out like this, it can't be really a fake thing. If you're doing it strictly for the money, you're already going to bail.
Yeah.
We just want to get those super chats, so we're constantly arguing with YouTube over copyright rights.
Yeah. I
That's
need
what
that
we're
stuff
looking
in my life.
forward to. Yeah.
Grandpa's Comic Con says, well, after they put out the ball pit in exchange for $30 welcome to Night Vale ticket, people peed and crapped in the pit. They removed it a few hours later.
Oh,
It took them a few hours to realize there was pee and poo in the pit.
Yeah.
They had no idea what was smelling up the joint. They're like, they didn't see the dude whose bare behind was out there over the pit. I mean,
Yeah, like
professionals. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. So Mark, so people paid $30 for like a meet and greet with the people of Welcome to Nightville, which is a pretty famous podcast, and like that didn't happen. They didn't show, or they didn't actually book them, and so they thought this ball pit was going to be like, here you go, no refunds.
Bob,
Yeah.
why are you sitting on the edge of that pit with your pants down?
I'm tired of this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the type of rage I have to listen? And I have a lot of rage, guys. But you have to understand, for me to sit there and say, you know, I know how I'm gonna get even. I'm gonna go shit in the ball pit. Watch out.
Go shit in the pit.
Yeah. And listen, and for no friends to stop me. I mean, Eric would say, wait.
Not only that, but you
maybe
get there.
maybe they were joining. You know, that's all bad. That's all bad.
Everyone
You'd
had
get-
the same idea.
You'd get in there, you do it, and then you come back to your table and you go, "Why are my shoes so wet?"
Oh, gross.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do need to remind you that we are TVMADSLV.
So right
And,
up here, in the,
apparently
right up
there's
there
a
in the
video.
corner.
There is a video which Mark has shared with us. So
Yeah, you guys can go over and check that out.
For the uninitiated, okay.
Yeah, you guys can go check that out. There it is. That poop and pee in the ball pit. Delicious. Good times had by all. You know,
Well, that's why all those ball pits have disappeared from your friendly fast food restaurant.
You know,
from the kids' room, they just very quickly and quietly just all disappeared.
You know, Mark at Grasp had one of the coolest things that I've seen. And I still think it's cool. He had a sign in an empty area.
Big empty area. Yeah.
It said Wonder Woman Invisible Jet.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so funny. I took a picture in front of it, like,
yeah.
You know, with my eyes holding. I was like,
pretending to lean on it. And everything. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. But it was. I thought it was awesome. It was like, because me and a friend used to joke about that. We're like, we need to go to Hollywood and work on a Wonder Woman movie. This is back in the 90s. I said, could you imagine we can go in an empty notebook and say, look, guys, we worked on the Invisible Jet designs all night. Empty books, you know. Here you guys go. Check it out. Here's what we got.
Mark says the story is they announced a WTNV for an extra $30 ticket. Didn't pay them, so they refused to perform, refused to refund the money, and gave people an hour in the ball pit in exchange. And people revolted.
Grift game.
Gotta have a sense of humor.
I mean, like, somebody said, okay, well, value-wise, if we give them an hour in the ball pit, that's the equivalent to the $30 that they contributed, right?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
You know what adults love? They love ball pits.
You know what upset fans love? Ball pits.
Yeah. I mean,
make sure the car's running when we put this thing out, guys.
Who thought that was a good idea? Like, we're gonna put the ball pit out.
The Geronimo splash.
I mean, could you? I mean, first of all, that is, you literally walk in there and just, here's the reactions they should have got.
Yeah.
If they wanted a verbal one, I don't think I had that. Oh yeah, here. Oh hell no! But no, they decided to. Oh God, why? And then they're surprised when they see somebody.
Yeah,
they're surprised.
Sure, some of that was going on.
Yeah, I'll fix them. I'll fix their ball pit. Guys, so this is our last show before Christmas. I know that everyone is gonna be possibly spending time with family, we remind everyone to please stay safe during that time. Me personally, I enjoy staying away from relatives. It's awesome. There's nothing like it. I suggest you all try it this year.
Are you being sarcastic?
It can become a new tradition.
Oh, staying away from relatives?
Yeah. It can become a new tradition. And also keep in mind too that I know a lot of people are shipping packages. A lot of people are shipping comics because their crowdfunding campaigns ended during the time, of the holidays. I think for next year, I think we're gonna take a look at this and figure out. You might want to start shipping in November and not shipping anything in December because it's just a horrible month to ship things. People are shipping. A friend of ours, he's got packages out there. It's absolutely killing him that people aren't getting their books yet. And I think he said he shipped with. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to blow up the spot.
Somebody who had a very successful crowdfunding campaign that is fulfilled. It's still hearing back from folks that they haven't quite gotten their books yet.
Yeah,
and it's really causing them a lot of distress.
To our listeners, be patient. People are sending out your books, and if you got a tracking number, it's out of their hands. There's not much they can do. The post service is acting really wonky right now. I sent
the post office has been wonky ever since the bugs sprung up. Really,
I sent a package to a gentleman 45 minutes from my doorstep in Michigan here. And I could have drove it to his house in 45 minutes. It went to Pittsburgh.
It was rerouted. Yeah.
It went to Pittsburgh.
Everything goes through Pittsburgh now. Yeah.
And came back to Michigan. And I was on the phone with. That's why I didn't like the company that I ordered the chair from, because I felt like they didn't care. I was on the phone with the Postal Service the minute I noticed it was going to Pittsburgh, and I'm like, hey, why is this happening? So please, if you're listening and you got some books out there, be patient with the creator as long as they sent it. If they haven't sent it, well,
mail's running about 2 weeks right now. Checked yesterday.
Yeah. One of the local annexes by my home was on the news. They got wall-to-wall boxes and packages and mail. So I just got a letter stating that I had some extra money coming to me. The letter was printed November 25th.
Yeah.
So it was from the government. So I'm guessing it went in the mail like 2 days later. And I just got it today. So, keep that in mind when you're,
little patience, little time. Yeah.
If you got a tracking number, just, know that they sent it. It's out there. The post office has it. That's great. Tracking number. Whoa, this is worthless. That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very, very true. Eric, where can they find you at, sir?
They can find me at Dreaded Dinosaur on all the social medias, and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I forgot for a moment there. And you can pick up the Roddy Piper comic book, Kilted Avenger, from Pro Wrestling Tees website as well. You can go to erichodson.com, that's ERIKHODSON, and help me pay my rent by ordering some awesome wrestling or anime art prints and a few other things on there as well. And next Monday, you can find me right back here on Indie Vault for our brand new show, episode 2 of It Came From Webtoon, where we cover comics that you can read on your phone or tablet for free. The Webtoon service, there's thousands of them out there. My buddy Odin and I, we comb through, read through, and we tell you what our favorites are.
In regards to the Roddy Piper comic, I just got a copy of that, and I'll tell people this: if you can, Eric loves hiding Easter eggs in his comics. He loves it, and if you can find the Indie Vault Easter egg, there's a type of Indie Vault Easter egg in there. If you can find it and let us know, me and Eric will figure out something to do for you. If you buy the book here, you can find the Indie Vault Easter egg. It's in there. It's in there. You have to be sharp-eyed. It's in there. It's in there. This look real hard.
Yeah. If you're a friend of mine, if we've had a long relationship, don't be surprised if you don't show up in an episode of Dreaded Dinosaur Man or some other book I'm working on in some fashion.
Yeah. It's you'll be there. John, where can they find you at, sir?
You guys can find me at Beyond Time Inc., Beyond Time INC. You can find me there at Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and also Facebook is Beyond Time Comics. And my current campaign is Magna, The Last Pantheon, Volume 1.
A book that I intend to back very soon here. That book looks phenomenal. I can't wait to have it on my shelf. You know, it's funny. I actually get excited about having some books on my shelf. Like, yeah, it's going to go right there. You're right. We got to get new shelves. But unfortunately, I have to have a certain style of shelf. It's this glass and metal, like abstract looking shelf. It's getting harder and harder to find.
And that book is Magna, M-A-G-N-A.
Magna.
You can find that
Randy.
at Indiegogo. Over at Indiegogo for all of our radio audience. Hit Indiegogo up for that. M-A-G-N-A. We'll send you right to that book. And it's one of these books that we have on the program way often that's underfunded, that needs to be looked at, because when you see it, you'll see how professional it is, and you're going to have to buy in. There's only there's what, $6,000 in the campaign now, and it needs to be a lot higher, folks. You need to go over there and take a look at this. What
did it go up a little bit?
Magna, The Last Pantheon, Volume 1.
Yeah, the book looks great. Good, very good work. It was done on this book, and I'm jealous of it. And even though it's a werewolf book, I'm jealous of it. Dominic, where can we find you at?
Yeah, so the stuff I talked about tonight is found at logocomics.com. Very easy URL. It'll land you at mirrorcomics.com/logocomics.
And we've put that in the chat, by the way. We put the link in the chat.
Yep. Let me see here. Let me go to.
I'm not sure if I'm in the right chat.
Oh, it's on the side.
It's there. It's up the line a bit. Yeah.
There it is. So that's the site. There's lots to explore. One thing I would point you to is that I'll be releasing 4 new hardcover books through the Ingram distribution network. So that's available in about 39,000 points of sale, including Target and Walmart and a bunch of other stores, including Amazon. So it's also available on bookshop.org/shop/mirrorcomics.
We just lost John. John, if you can, go ahead and pull out and come back in, buddy. We'll set you right back up. So go ahead, Dominic. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So so I'm excited about these new books coming out, and I'll have some new books in the new year that I can tell you about. For now, if you're looking for a grid, just go to logocomics.com and you're all hooked up.
Very good.
Find me at Dominic Bercier, DOMINICBERCIER on Facebook and Twitter, and at Logo Comics on most of the main Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter. So look for Mirror Comics or Mirror Comics Studios, and I really appreciate you having me on again. Thanks, man.
No problem. That's mirrorcomics.com. Mirrorcomics.com.
Yeah, thanks.
And then, of course, Randy, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on the Twitter under Randy Zim. I don't tweet very often, but when I do, it's over there. I'm not on any of the other platforms because I got stuff to do. So other than that, I got the Zim Geek channel over on YouTube. That's ZIMMGEK, where I put up cartooning instructionals and an occasional video talking about the market. Please go over there, like and subscribe. While you're over there, like and subscribe over at Indie Volt as well. Plus, Varian and I will be back on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. for the Breakfast Buzz. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where we spend 2 more hours talking about the wonderful industry. Then on Sundays, I host a show here on the Indie Volt Network called the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics, not necessarily the dark and gritty and dismal comics that seem to be out there so much today, but the more fun stuff. We talk about undergrounds, golden age books. We have on guests. Sometimes it's just 2 old dudes talking crazy stories about comics. So that's Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. every Sunday here on the Indie Volt Network.
And Lola will be making a not a full return, but a special appearance on Geekgasm. She's the original host of Geekgasm, but she had to give the reins over while she recovers from her surgery to Meredith Lagren and Daphne Lage, but she'll be making a special appearance tomorrow on Geekgasm. I was looking forward to that.
And that's
Geekgasm-
Wednesdays. That's every Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Yep, Wednesday at 9 p.m. So make sure you are there for that. Lola, any special things you're gonna talk about tomorrow? Christmas things.
We're gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Oh, which character's naughty and nice? I guess we can. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Nobody from the boys is getting anything. None of those characters. As for us guys, yeah, Randy said it all. I'll be back here with Randy Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then of course I'll probably make an appearance on Geekgasm. Maybe Wednesday, tomorrow night, maybe.
All depends on if you're on that naughty list or not.
Yeah, I'm probably not on it. And I've been a good boy. But guys, listen in on Indie Vote Radio right now. Our number is at 6248.
We love all of you out there listening.
Thank you guys. You
You
can download Indie Vote Radio on Google Play or on, if you have iOS, download the Streamer app and then type in Indie Vote Radio in the Streamer app. You can also ask Alexa to find it for you, and she will play Indie Vote Radio for you as well. And then if you're looking for something to watch on TV tonight and you got a Roku enabled TV or Roku enabled device, Indie Vote TV is free. Lots of independent content on there. A lot of good stuff coming to it in 2021. I'm excited about, and we'll be announcing that what programs those are very soon here. Probably on New Year's. I'll probably be announcing what shows you're going to be able to see, because we worked really hard this year to get some new shows up there.
New programming announcements coming after the first of the year.
Yeah. Indie Vote Live at indievote.com. You can email us there. Please include Indie Vote Live in the subject and keep those emails 90 words or less. Those emails are used to compile the questions, or just like the very nice letter we got today, which was very touching.
That fantastic letter we got today.
Yeah. So, if you want to send us a question, you can do so at that email address, indievotelive@indievote.com.
We don't get enough letters like that very often. And believe me, folks, our hearts are with you out there. You guys sitting in the Kurdistan jail right now for drawing pictures that the government didn't like. So
Absolutely.
hang in there, buddies. Yeah, we're with you. And remember, when you write into Indie Vote, there's no question, suggestion, comment that's too silly or too serious. We want to learn about your problems in order to use this as an educational tool on the podcast to teach other people not to make the same mistakes or to learn more about how they can market and get their stuff out there. And remember, our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag Indie Vote.
And make sure, guys, that you're you're subscribed. Make sure you're still subscribed if you're on YouTube. Like the video, we really appreciate it. And get out there and make and read comics.
Make and read good comics. Go out there and tell other people about the great comics that are out there. Give comics away for Christmas. If you don't have a gift for somebody, hit that local retailer and go through their back stock. Look for them old Warren magazines. You find somebody that likes old, that likes horror movies. Get them some of them Eries and Creepies or some of those great old EC reprints. They'll eat them up and show them what great comics are all about.
KYD_V is where you can find me on Facebook or on Twitter, and Variant Grant on Facebook. LEDG.us if you're looking for distribution for your independent comic. Last Call Comics, Indie Vote. I'm all over the internet. I'm everywhere. I own the whole anything, but I own all my sites. I guess, which are there's like 19 of them now.
Own them all.
All right, yeah. All right, guys. You guys
also don't forget here, starting probably right after Christmas, we're going to be concentrating a little bit more on the Indie Vote Revolt book that we want to do. That's an anthology title that we want to get out to the readers to show you some of the great talent that has been on and that is associated with Indie Vote.
Mm-hmm. Until then, guys, Randy and I will see you. Lola,
we want to leave you again, reminding you of those immortal words by one of the greatest comics masters of all time, Mr. Jack Kirby, who said, "Kid, comics will break your heart."
Yeah, they break your heart. kick you in the nuts, shit in your ball pit. It's horrible.
Pee in your ball pit for 30 bucks. Hey, you get an hour in the ball pit.
Yeah.
Before we leave, remember this holiday
I
season.
hope you're having a nice holiday season. I really do.
We all wish you the best. Stay safe.
Good night.
And good luck.
Take care. I'll take us out here. Let me find it here. There we are. Take care, everybody. We'll see you back tomorrow night on Geekgasm Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Then again, Thursday morning, Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. All of those times are Eastern Standard Times. So adjust your clocks accordingly. Stay safe, everyone.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!